Welcome back to LJ's Comic Borough. My name is Jay. I'm the host for the show. And dear God, happy new comic book day to everybody. And I'm hoping everybody was able to at least go out and pick up their comic books and flip through it, find out what direction that their favorite book is starting to head, hopefully in the direction that you like it to. Personally, I'd like to be able to at least read the reviews because I don't pick up my books right away. I usually wait 1 or 2 weeks. I usually pick up my books on payday. So I usually read the last line of every review of the book that I pick up just to see if, the people that are reading them actually like which direction they're going or whatever they're writing. Because the last line usually tells and defines what's going on. Other than that, happy new comic book day to everybody. Dear God, it's kind of nice to be able to get a show out on New Comic Book Day. This is my fourth week in a row, which is pretty exciting to me. Other things going on in my life. If you've watched my earlier episodes, you guys have been introduced to a little pup named Sally. She is a little blue pit. And unfortunately, the day we got her, the SPCA called us and let us know that she has heartworms. So yesterday was her first treatment, which is a pretty scary treatment for any dog to be able to go through because anything goes wrong, the heartworm pretty much can kill the dog. So can the treatment. So right now she is on 6 different pretty much pain medicines to be able to slow her down because a 5-year-old pit has an engine that never wants to stop except to eat, drink, and then run again. So, that being said, right now she is a sleepy little puppy, and hopefully we're able to keep her that way for the remainder of the treatment. So on to the comic book show. So you like what you're watching, you like what you're seeing, dear God, if you like the words coming out of this mouth right here, please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment, because the best thing about doing a show like this is to be able to have a one-on-one conversation or a one-on-two, one-on-three, whatever kind of conversation with those with like interests like myself. Or if you have any kind of questions that having to do with any rescues or anything, please. I know it sounds silly to reach out to an idiot like me, but dear God, if I can't help you, I will at least point you in the right direction to be able to help you, and this way you'll be able to find whatever answer that you're looking for. So, on to the comic books here. Now, like I told you, I'm a little behind on my pickups, but I have some really cool stuff here to pick up. Some nostalgia, some that I love reading, and so far none this week that I actually have anything bad to say, so it's pretty cool. First thing, let's get into this. My very first book. This is a Rob Liefeld cover. It's Thundercats, issue 1. I only picked up the first issue of this. Personally, I wasn't getting it to read, but it's a lot of nostalgia for me, alright? I grew up with this book in the 80s. It's one of the fun, favorite cartoons that I used to watch here in the afternoons coming home from school. I absolutely love this cast. We got Lion-O, we got Chitara, we got Panthro and Tigra here on the cover. What's really missing though is Snarf. Liefeld, you kind of let us down on that, but other than that, the cover looks amazing. I absolutely love it. The only thing I have a problem with is actually who they picked as the writer, and that's Declan Shalvey, who unfortunately is best known for his cover art, stuff like Deadpool versus Old Man Logan, the What If Miles Morales series. He did the cover art. He also, unfortunately, and this is what he's known for writing, is that Alien Volume 3 from Marvel series, and that was a bust. So I'm kind of scared to even want to read it. Personally, like I said, I got it with nostalgia. I also got this cover here for nostalgia. It is the shiny cover. It's one of the 2 actually shiny covers they actually had going on. Now they do have another cover for using this, and it is a virgin cover. It's like a 1 in 100, 1 in whatever. But to me, this personally is pretty cool I didn't need to look for the really, really super expensive cover. Like I said, I just got it for nostalgia, and I absolutely love the way they did this cover art with Mamarod in the background, and you got Lionel just, you know, ready to attack somebody and kick somebody's ass. This is a pretty fucking cool comic book cover. All right, the next book, I'll be honest with you. It was brought to you by the man who has done Department of Truth. He did the Joker series, the most recent Joker series, Nice House on a Lake, Something's Killing the Children, and I just did a review on that Dracula series. It's James Tynion the Fourth, and holy crap, he wrote another home run. Personally, I absolutely love this book. All right, I'm excited to read the next. I'd like to see where he's headed with it. This is pretty much about UFOs, and basically based on the, like, pretty much the very first sightings of what's going on with UFOs, and how, like wildfire, you know, from the first person seeing it on to the next, to the next, to the next, and the FBI getting involved and checking it out and seeing what's going on. So pretty much that's what the story's about. And it does have a backstory issue, which is pretty cool. Kind of like the recent Batmans and the department. Yeah. Oh, the detective series. It has a backstory issue, which is pretty cool. It's basically, you know, your old wise tales and stuff like that. I think that each one's going to have a different little wise tale in the back. So great series. James Tynion the Fourth. If you love his writing, dear God, this is one of those series you can jump into. I don't know how popular it is, but I'm going to let you know that this is definitely one of those that you should get. I also picked up a shiny cover, which really isn't shiny at all, which is absolutely weird. This is the shiny cover of Blue Book. And if you notice, the only part of it is shiny is where it says Blue Book. Other than that, it's just a regular cover. I haven't really seen anything else on. I honestly, I took 10 minutes. I was like, this can't be the only part that's shiny. Yes, absolutely. This is the only part that's actually shiny on the whole book. So luckily, it was running about the same price as the normal cover cost. But this is something really special. Now, David Mack, if you see his artwork, you automatically know who it's a David Mack. He is bright, amazing colors on all of his artwork. And when I saw this, and I had the chance to be able to order it through the Comic Hub app, dear God, I went out and I picked it up right away. Here is David Mack's cover for Blue Book. Look at that. And it looked a little almost hidden pictures underneath. Absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. Some people, I'm telling you, David Mack is one of those, and I'm glad we actually got an autograph done by him. And I'm hopefully be able to see him over at Baltimore Comic Con this coming year. I'm hoping they invite him back and he accepts, because I definitely have some shit for him to sign. All right. So I know some people aren't pretty happy with this Batman series. I get it. I understand it. I've got some stuff here to show you, and personally, you guys got to decide pretty much on your own. But here is Batman 142, Chip Zdarsky, Year of the Joker, #1. So, personally, I like it's a well-rounded story. I really do enjoy Chip's writing. So for me to read it, I took it a little bit different than everybody else. I absolutely love his work. But what I'm going to say to you, it does change the backstory of the Joker. All right? It does change things up. And I know people are a little upset about it. So I get it. But personally, if you're just jumping into a Batman story, it's actually a really good story. I absolutely love it. It's a nice flow. It does bounce around from past and present day. But personally, I absolutely love the story. I couldn't recommend it more. I couldn't recommend it more because I also got the shiny cover, and because, dear God, if you don't like the Batman story, if you're just collecting cool covers, this is a really, really fucking cool cover, alright? That's a badass Joker, and this is definitely something to get framed, graded, whatever the hell you want to do with it, hang it up on your wall. But this is pretty awesome. I absolutely love this, alright? Whoever did this, thank you so much, because I didn't look it up before I started the show. So this is pretty fucking cool. Alright? Just show that off. I mean, yeah. I couldn't have been happier with that. Now, on to, because what I've started to notice also, Batman's like an every week thing now for some reason. It used to be twice a month, possibly once a month, whatever. And now it's like an every week thing. So I feel like every week I'm going to be sitting here reading another two Batman. Every 2 weeks I'll be reading 2 Batmans. It's just fine. I love Chip's work. But this is a little oversaturation. And I think people are going to get a little tired of it even quicker than what they are at this moment. So, this is Joker, year 1, part 2, Chip Zdarsky. To me, I think the worst part of it is the drawing of the Batman. I think that's probably the worst part of this issue for me. Like, again, I love Chip's work, so I stand by it. I have nothing really bad to say about this. And what's actually really cool, the most recent Batmans have been like a front story and a backstory, and it's been that way for quite some time. With the year 1 Joker, it's been all one story. All right, there's not a pause and then you read this backstory, and it feels like 2 different comic books wrapped up in one. It's literally the whole book, one whole story, lets you really kind of get into the story and basically kind of lets you, let your mind think about what's going on instead of just rushing through the first part and then, okay, here's another story. So that is the one good thing about what's happening in year 1. Now, there's nothing bad about this next book I'm about to show you, because Jed MacKay hits a home run each time. All right. So far, every review, everything I've read about it, every comic book I've read so far throughout this series has been amazing. This is Doctor Strange, issue 12, and this is pretty much the story of the dog. This is what that story is all about, and his adventures throughout Doctor Strange's house, and him, and that's literally trying to figure out what's going on and what's happening, and he realizes something bad is happening in that house, and no one wants to believe him except for the 2 snakes that are living there. So it is pretty cool. I absolutely love this. I'm looking forward to reading the next one. If you love Bats the dog, this is definitely one of those little mini stories, at least, that you should be able to enjoy. Plus, the artwork is so cool. I'm sorry, that is really, really cool. It almost feels like throughout the whole story, feels like no horror in Bat's face. It's just all happy because he is serving his human. All right. On to the next book here, which is a huge pleasure again to read. It's also from Jed MacKay. This is Vengeance of Moon Knight, issue 2. The cover art is so awesome. It's so badass. Everything that's happening in the story so far doesn't have me lost. I am craving the next issue to find out what's going on, and who this motherfucker is. I'd love to find out who he is. Because that's pretty much, so far, the first 2 issues, you're trying to figure out, who's playing this part, who is actually playing the Fist of Khonshu, who's acting and trying to be Moon Knight and take over his church, and try to, well, kick everybody else out. So that's pretty much like, it's almost like a mystery slash action comic book. So Jed McKay, thank you very, very much. Please come to Baltimore Comic-Con. You, Chip Zdarsky, please, I invite you. If you ever come across a video done by some jerk out here in York, Pennsylvania, and he asks you to please, 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 please come to Baltimore Comic-Con, I'd love to be able to be able to get your autograph and get a couple signatures. It'd be one hell of a good time. A lot of good food here in Baltimore. A lot of good food down in Baltimore. I'd love to be able to say thank you very, very much personally to you. All right, I know, and the next one, the next writer, I'm going to sound like another ass kisser, and I am. Fuck it, call me what you like. I am an ass kisser to this man. The next book here is done by Mr. Todd McFarlane. It's Gunslinger issue 28. It's pretty much the gunslinger getting himself out of predicament, which was he was left in issue 27. So far, so good. 28 issues that I cannot stop reading enough of. So much so far better than the other issues that I've read of Spawn. So this is definitely the one I'm picking up. I'm also picking up that Sam and Twitch Case Files that's coming out. I'm pretty excited to be able to read that and be able to review it. But so far, Todd, I know you said that you're not a writer, you're just an artist, but you're writing this a lot better than the other people that you got writing for you. So I'm pretty excited to read the next issue. Now, I know I said I'm done with X-Men comic books and stuff like that. I can't read anything that has Fall of X and any kind of X right now. I'm just so done. I'm so tired. But when a legend picks up his pen and says, hey, I'm going to do this one more time here, I had to give it a try. This is Wolverine, Mandapore Nights, issue 1. And the only bad thing about this is I pretty much think is just the way they did Wolverine and this cover. I think they really could have put on bring back somebody that, you know, that once did a really cool X-Men comic book cover and really gave it that nostalgia. To me, yeah, this is kind of like reading the Uncanny X-Men back in, you know, the 200s and it was a 288 or whatever around that time. So if you absolutely love Uncanny X-Men, because the cover and the cover and the artwork inside is done by completely different people. So you'll absolutely love the inside work if you're kind of turned off by what's happening out here. It is an adult comic book. It does have a parental advisory right here on the top because of some of the slash shit that goes on inside this book. So it's definitely not made for kids. It's not the you know, the bloodiest comic book I've ever read, but it's definitely starting there pretty nicely. So this is a great story. After meeting Claremont, yeah, I'm gonna have to say, Claremont, you did an amazing job on this, and I'm hoping the next several issues of this series is just as good as this one. So, like I said, this is definitely one of those. If you love the times during that X-Men period when Claremont was writing, you'll love to pick this book up. And I only got one more book. That book was my wife's, and I actually got a second book here for her. And if you guys know her, you guys already know what the hell this is. This is Wolverine. All right, issue 43. Yeah, issue 43. I don't know. I didn't read it. All right. See that right there? There's a reason why I didn't even want to pick this book up and read it. So, unfortunately, like I said, a lot of that X-Men stuff, by the end of it, you're just so tired, so drained. I actually have a couple buddies that are still reading the X-Men, and they're enjoying every bit of it. And I tell them, hey, that shit's gonna start spreading like wildfire. You're gonna start seeing like little books attached to that book. You're gonna get tired of reading it again. And yeah, there's more books coming to this stupid story that they have out. So, but this guy knows how to write a book. I'm not gonna lie, it's Benjamin Percy. He knows how to write Wolverine. He's the best at it. Best at it. So if you're going to pick up a series, if you're going to read a Wolverine series, this Benjamin Percy is where you want to start at. All right, start from issue 1 all the way till now, and it's definitely one of those that you just won't regret. And that's all my books, guys. That's everything I have to show to you. I've got a hell of a thing coming up next week. I've got some really cool Wolverines that I ended up picking up for my wife. I've got some more Batmans I got to show off, and I also got a couple side comics books that I ended up getting in from Whatnot, and one that actually had a surprise autograph that I didn't even know about until I looked at it and was like, holy fuck, I can't believe I got that. So, if you like what you're watching, you like what you're seeing, dear God, if you like the words coming out of this mouth, please like, please subscribe. And dear God, I'd love to be able to hear from you, so please leave a comment. The best thing about doing this show is be able to have that conversation with you, with those with like interest. And one more thing, I don't know how many people are sending in their books to CGC at this moment. I know I've got one book going in. That is the 1 in 25 Humberto Ramos. What was it? Second print of Spider-Man #7. Hopefully I'm getting it at 9.8. I've looked over that book. Hell, I even asked for him to press it. I was like, fuck it. I'm not taking a chance. Just press the book. I'll pay the extra couple dollars for it just to make sure that gets a 9.8, because I've had some virgin copies that I've gotten right there from the comic book store, thinking it was a 9.8. I sent it in, and I find out like it's a 7.5. I got that with a Scream book that I picked up one time. It was beautiful. I couldn't find anything wrong with it, and all of a sudden it came back with that surprise 7.5. So, hope you all enjoyed the show. Love to see you next week. So from my family, your family, have a great night, and happy comic book day again.